I was inspired by Neil Jeffrey as he told me stories about his hero.
My dad was truly, as most boys see in their dad, he was my hero. God planted what Isaiah kind of talks about in the book of Isaiah, a giant oak tree of righteousness right smack dab in the middle of my house. That was my dad. He always prayed for us. And he'd in fact, hundreds of ball games, my dad, before the game, hey son, let's have a pregame prayer. We'd huddle up. After the game, win or lose. And sometimes, I remember I had some tough losses. Dad would say, hey, we're going to have a Thanksgiving prayer. And just thank the Lord. And we'd huddle up and we'd pray. He'd write me a letter. My dad was a little writer. He always referred to me as honorable number one son, because I was his first son. Dear honorable number one son. This is handwritten now. Just wanted you to know I mentioned your name to the Father this morning. Love, Daddy-O. He loved us, and in the tough times of life, you know, he spoke truth into us, and he just by his life, we just saw this is how a man does life. You know, how does a man love a woman? Well, every boy needs to know that. I know how it ought to be done because I had a man who did it, and I watched him do it. I watched him love my mom, and I realized, you know what? I want to be like my dad, who did life well. His marriage was good, wasn't perfect, but it was a good, strong marriage, and he loved my mom, honored my mom until the day he died, raised us kids, and you know what? I realized that's who I want to be, is how I want to live my life. And it makes me realize every day I want to live my life in such a way as a dad that when my son passes my life, I pray he sees something in me he wants to be just like his dad. Well, my girls have been raised in such a way by me, have seen me treat their mom in such a way that those girls feel like, you know what, I'm not going to settle for any man unless he's like my dad and treats me the way I've seen my dad treat my mom.
I wish my dad would have been home more often so that we could have had more talks, more father-daughter time.
I wish he told me that he loved me. I wish he would have
showed me how to love my wife and how to raise my children.
I wish he would have told me
that I didn't have to face life on my own.
I wish he would have understood.
I wish he would have told me.
He was proud of everything I have done.
I wish he would have been there.
I wish he would have spent more time with us as a family. Instead of him being passionately in pursuit of his desire to be successful.
I wish my dad would have told me
if I didn't accomplish something or another, that he was proud that I tried, that I got out there and tried.
I wish he told me
how to be a father.
I wish he would have
fought harder for my mom.
I wish he would have
said, I love you and you're important.
And I just wish he could have gotten it.
I wish my dad, in a broad stroke, would have showed me
that I was somebody and showed me how to fend for myself, you know, without me having to go do it on my own.
I wish my dad would have taught me what to look for in a husband.
I wish he
thought about what he was doing, thought about the other people that were going to be hurting more than how he was hurting when he did what he did. Thinking about how it was going to affect my life and my mom's life and how much it might possibly hurt us.
I always wish that he would have shown me
transparency and just, you know, sensitivity.
You know, I wish I had that father that
would ask his daughter, what do you need from me? What can I do for you?
I wish he would have taught me that I was important.
I wish he would
love my mom differently.
I wish he would have told me that you don't have all the answers all the time.
I wish he would have
just showed up. I mean, just been a part of my life.
I wish that he
cared, you know, showed me love.
I wish he taught me
how to appreciate other people, how to manage money.
I wish he told me
that I was important, that I was special or precious, or that I mattered.
I wish he would have
not dwelled on his sin and just understood that God forgives and moved forward.
I wish my dad would have told me
I have what it takes.
I wish that when, the man came to pick me up for a date at 16 years old, or the boy, I should say, that my father was at the door with a shotgun going, "You better not mess with my daughter, or I'm going to mess with you." I wish I had that. I had nobody there protecting me.
Because of the disconnect, the distance between me and my dad emotionally, spiritually, I didn't really have that with God. I didn't even know it was possible. So whenever the word father was spoken, my mind would go right to my father. So I could not separate the two. So the first time a pastor or a preacher or anyone suggests to say, "I love you, Father," was weird. Couldn't say it. I literally could not get the words out of my mouth. I had to force the words out. And after I said it, I had to think about what I just said. But it did not make sense to me. I couldn't make the connection that I could actually say and mean that I love you, Father, because of the bitterness that I had towards the person who played the role of the father in my life.
I just found God to be somewhere out there, somewhere. No one that was personal, no one that was there really. And, that's kind of how I viewed my dad for a long time, because he wasn't near to me. He was living in another city. God was there. It's just that he was far away, like my dad was.
He just continued to show love, and that was the thing. It was really this, that I'm for you. Whenever I heard the gospel presented of, hey, there is a God that wants to have a relationship with you. It just, just like my earthly father, that's what I saw, is that no matter what we had done, I just knew his love wasn't going to stop.
I was following my dad, and I ended up following who he was following, which was Jesus.
As a father with 3 girls, I sat amazed as I listened to Dr. Meg Meeker talk about a dad's impact on his daughters.
Girls bond through talking and through listening. And so how dads speak is very important to daughters because we become intimate with people by talking. Your daughters need you. They need your person. They need your touch. They need your time. They need your feelings. They need to hear you talk about anything. What are your opinions about things? What do you think about the president? What do you think about God? They need to see who you are as a person. And the only way you can do that is through spending time with them. If a daughter knows that she has her dad's love, life makes sense. If she doesn't know she has dad's love, life doesn't make sense. And there really is a dad hole in every daughter's heart. And if a daughter doesn't have that hole filled with her dad, she will look anywhere to get it filled. And one of the most common things that I see is adolescent girls turning to boys for attention, for love, for affection, even just to be touched. Girls will do anything just to be touched and to feel loved by a boy. And they'll have sex with any boy. Even though they may not like it, they will do it because for that moment, they feel that a man loves them. Dads have no clue about the power that they have in their kids' lives. That's what dads need to understand, is that you may feel like a loser. You may feel like you're not earning enough money. You may not feel strong enough, smart enough, athletic enough. Your kids aren't thinking about that, particularly your daughters. They could care less. To them, you're enormous in their eyes. It's very interesting. We're finding now that even girls who are the product, if you will, of sperm donors, who were raised by a single mom, literally didn't have a dad, are going now and trying to find who that man was who donated sperm. You see, there's that tie, that bind that is so strong that they will seek out a stranger to identify him as dad. That's why I call it a primal need. It's a primal drive that all girls have. That's how much it throws them off if they don't have dad.
I've been married 4 times.
I think you don't trust them. And so it goes back to you trying to do everything you think you should do to keep them, not being yourself even, becoming someone else to keep them so you don't lose that love.
I kind of went towards a father figure. I was looking for a dad that would pay attention to me.
I was looking so hard for security, for somebody to love me and not leave me.
They're going to leave me. I'm not worthy to be with a man. They don't care about me enough to stay around.
I used sex to get love.
I chose someone just like my dad.
The reason girls tend to marry somebody with very similar characteristics as their father is because they get so used to relating to a man they love in a certain way, and they don't know another way to do it, and it's subconscious, and so they just fold themselves back into that type of relationship because it's familiar. It's so deeply rooted in them. And that's why, you know, many girls who have been abused as youngsters by their dad end up marrying abusers because that's all they know.
You get a little girl that's broken, doesn't know she's loved, doesn't know that, you know, she's beautiful and that she will be chosen. She will give herself, right, in order to try and get that father love, try and get that assurance that she didn't get growing up. You get a dad who's blessing his daughter, right? She's going to know what kind of man to look for. She's going to know what to hold out for in a man. She's not going to settle for some broken poser, right? She's going to wait for a good man who's going to love her well.
Recognizing and coming to terms with my own father wound also made me think about how I had wounded my own children. I knew I couldn't do anything about the past, but I could do something about the present and the future.
I believe a man's main role, one, is to love his God with all of his heart, soul, mind, and strength, and discover who God wants him to be. Secondly, is to love his wife, the mother of his kids.
I think it's important for dads to teach their kids about God. The reason it's important for dad to teach their kids about God is because you are your kids' first reflection to male love. And you sort of put a template over their hearts for how they're going to relate to all male figures, including God. You are the conduit to God. The first male conduit to God.
Love God, love your wife, love your family, and then apply yourself to providing for them and enjoy the fruit of that. Allow them to see there's nothing more important than that in life.
Here's what you need to know. The power of your love in their life is immeasurable. You are the most powerful figure in the world in their lives. Offer your love freely. Offer it openly. Offer it often. Because here's the great promise. Love covers a multitude of sins. It's not that we're going to get this thing perfect, okay? I've wounded my sons. I've blown it. I think I've been a great dad, but I've also messed up, okay? They know I love them. They know that in the core of their being. And when a boy or a girl knows that, it can cover over some of the other mistakes we make. Tell them you love them often.
Do what you say you're going to do. Be consistent. Showing them that you love them is being there. That's the way they understand it. Go talk to your church leaders or, friends that you know that appear to be great fathers to you, that have a great relationship with their kids.
Love on your daughters. They will find in you as a father what they are going to be looking for later in a man, in a husband.
Be very careful with your anger, because it doesn't take a lot of anger to wound a child's trust in a father. And so when we pick them up and hold them and give them hugs and receive their butterfly kisses and things, they feel emotionally delighted in by daddy. My daddy loves me.
As children are constructing their understanding of the world, the dads occupy a very central role in that understanding of the world. And their behavior is so critical to giving the child a positive sense of what a good father is and what good male behavior is.
And my dad was not perfect. He had issues. He struggled with stuff all of his life, and he didn't have a good influence in his life, but essentially my dad broke that chain and raised in me. And now, praise God, I'm raising my kids differently.
The best thing a father can do for his children is love their mother. But for a child to see his father love their mother, something happens in that child receives that centers their life.
Be a man of God first. Love your wife. Show that you love your wife. After God, there is nothing more important than your family.
Do not be afraid. Never parent out of fear. Love your kid the best you can. Don't try to be perfect. And always move forward. Make amends, say you're sorry, but try better the next time, because that's all your kids want.
But your greatest calling in life, the impact you're going to make that is greater than any other impact, is at home as a dad.
I have heard it said that a father can impact hundreds of generations of those who come after him. I still make mistakes, but I believe that now I make less of them because I walk in daily awareness of my words and actions and how they impact my children. I am not now, nor will I ever be the perfect father, but I am doing my best every day to become a better father. On that cold day in February 2009, I took a step on the journey to find forgiveness from my dad. I had to admit that I had a father wound, ask for help, seek counsel, find healing, and most importantly, forgive. Forgiveness is a powerful thing. It freed me from the chains of anger, bitterness, and resentment. It relieved the burden of guilt, shame, and unworthiness that I carried most of my life. I found forgiveness, but what I also received was a second chance to be the man, husband, and dad I was meant to be. It has been the most challenging road I have ever traveled, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I would do it all again. Because what I have learned has helped me change my legacy as a father, made me a better father, and has forever changed my life. My hope is that you too will take that step. Please consider giving a tax-deductible donation at thefathereffect.com to help us create more films and resources to continue our mission of educating, equipping, and encouraging men to become the fathers God created them to be. Follow us and share your thoughts on social media and help us spread the word about the film. We look forward to hearing from you.